This is Conversations with Mike Sparks.
Are you concerned with the state of America, your state, your community? Then you're in the right place. State Representative Mike Sparks. He and guests are here to talk about local politics, history, faith, and freedom.
All right, Conversation Mike Sparks. I'm your host, Mike Sparks. I was out last week, had Roger Thomas and Jeremy fill in for me, and who else y'all have? Oh, Jenny Williams. Jenny Williams.
And Marty called in, and yeah, we didn't get fired, so I guess we made it.
No, y'all doing good. I was out sick, man. I had that COVID, brother.
Yeah.
You know?
I know, man. That's bad. When you hadn't texted me or called me in a couple of days, I knew something wrong. Yeah, I've had COVID.
Yeah, it's not good. I went to the doctor. If anybody needs a good local clinic, that AFC clinic over by Longhorn over in Smyrna by Target across from the hospital, Stonecrest, Dr. Jonathan Head, he took care of me, and I was feeling better, but my wife's like, nah, man, you need to go to the doctor, and had a 100-degree fever, and I know who I caught it from. One of the staffers in Nashville. She's probably listening right now. I ain't gonna say her name, but she used to work for WGNS, and her first name starts with a T. Last name starts with a P. And anyway, she's been a great intern. I think she's got some company in from Chicago, but it's all good. Hey, it happens, you know. But man, if you want people to back up, like I just now, y'all want to shake my hands. Hey, man, I'm just going to fist bump you. Y'all backed up real quick.
Right away, quick.
You know, that's going to be a defense mechanism for me next time. Somebody wants to get all sarcasm. Hey, man, I had COVID the other day. You know, I was at the dump, and guy come walking over to me, and I always, you know, I know those guys. I said, hey, man, I had COVID the other day. Man, he put it in reverse real quick, backed up. At Charles Moses, if anybody goes over to the Smyrna Week Lane Convenience Center, a bunch of good guys over there. I was going to get Roger. Roger, jump in here. You know, there was a good event that we got invited to, the Andrea Calfee, the DARs, Colonel William Hardy, chapter of the Daughters of Revolution.
It was the mark of rededication, you know, what they did. And like I said, man, that was really, really good event. You know, Mayor Joe Carr was the main speaker. Pettis Reed was there. Robert Stevens and yourself,
John L. Beatty.
Yeah, John Beatty. Yeah, I'd known him before. But I got talking to him a little bit. But yeah, that was all right event.
It was. Well, my understanding, the marker used to be on Highway 96.
Yes.
In the 50s, and when they widened the road, right, they took the marker down and called up the family, and they came and got it.
Right.
It never had been reinstalled or something.
Right, and also, you know, right up there where the strawberries used to be, you know, the patch everybody could go, there's a new school going in, and that's called Poplar Hill. It's a middle school.
Poplar Hill.
And Brown's Chapel's on down, and there's Poplar Hill. But like I said, it's probably going to end up being called Beatty School.
John L. Beatty School.
Yeah, but right now it's Poplar Hill.
Are you proposing that?
No. Well, no.
Well, if he gave him a good deal on the property, I say go for it. You know,
he might not have had. Who knows
think
on
of
it?
all the growth. Remember how that was back in the sticks? That was the boonies, man.
Oh yeah, remember we was talking about yesterday all those houses, and like we went through there, like, oh man. But I'm gonna bring this up, Mike, if I can.
Yeah.
I went to a birthday party a little earlier. It's my aunt. She was 96. Still lives on her own.
Dot, who's listening right now?
She's listening right now. Listens, every week.
She's 95.
96.
Oh, 96.
Mm-hmm. Well, 96 Tuesday.
She's the
oldest survivor from the old Jefferson community, and like I said, she's the only one we got left.
Outside of Smyrna.
And I used to be the capital I'd say capital.
County seat.
Well, not. It used to be the from 1803 to 1811. It was Murfreesboro. It was kind of what do they call it, the house or something there, you know, before
county
Murfreesboro.
Courthouse.
Yeah, the county seat, and then they moved to Murfreesboro. Yes.
Yeah, and you grew up out there.
Mm-hmm.
So you remember all that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember the Jefferson School, two kids in two classes in a.
How old a fella are you?
be 70 years old, man. You know how old I am. I made your sister. I graduated with her.
My sister was a good-looking girl, wasn't she? Back
Yeah,
in the
she
day?
still was.
Yeah,
I
she still is.
said that to her.
Anyway.
I hadn't
That's
seen
kind
her.
of awkward. Somebody
My
says
wife's
your
probably
sister
listening,
was,
but this is
like,
60
boy, your
years
sister
ago.
was really good looking. I'm like, okay, it's like awkward, you know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not used to
Well,
that.
yeah. My wife's probably listening. You got extra
She's
bunk
real
at your house,
sweet.
Mike?
No, my sister Cindy, she was always real sweet. You know,
She
we
was,
drove a
she was.
VW back in it was like 1974, all the way to Panama City, a VW with 5 kids. My mom let us go down. I can't believe it. I remember all we listened to was the Doobie Brothers. Y'all don't know about no Doobie Brothers, do you? Doobie Brothers all the way down there, all the way back.
Wow.
You know?
Mike also likes the Village People.
No,
Y'all
yeah,
that.
you know, he always makes fun of the village people. Man, you need to quit doing that.
you call me
I
out.
like the YMCA song. Hey, have you ever listen to lyrics? YMCA, you ever stop and listen to lyrics?
I have not.
You haven't?
I've heard your song.
You think the Q Dog stopped listening to the lyrics of YMCA Village People?
I don't know. I don't know what the Q Dogs do.
I'm gonna get myself in some trouble. You know? I know. Y'all look at me like, oh, be 8 guys outside waiting on me. You know, either no, it could be 8 Village People fans
Could be.
or 8 Q Dogs.
Yeah.
Well, I know one.
Hey, I gotta say, I like Village People. You know. Anyways,
Well, you got me a couple weeks ago. That's why it's get
Yeah.
back time on you. Get you off guard.
They made a resurgence. You know.
But anyway, the party it was really good. They had a nice layout. It was my cousins, Darlene, and let's see who else is there. My son Steve, and there's one guy I hadn't seen in almost 60.
Where'd y'all do it at? Say.
Over off of let's see, at Last Cass's Pike. They live over there, Darlene and
When's the
and
next
Nancy.
tour going to be at Old Jefferson?
We'll probably do one next year. I've had people to ask. You don't want to do
Next
one every
year?
year. Yeah, well, this is February. This is the one we went last year. Right now, you
Oh, we
can't
need
wait
to do
too
it
late.
again.
No, it'll be too hot, man.
Will it?
Time you get it all organized, we'll do one every other year.
Yeah, I'll drive because I know where I'm going.
Yeah, he got lost, man. Hey,
I was out there.
he took one of them little rock or whatever,
We had a
side by side.
Side by side.
Yeah, and Mike was missing for about a couple hours. And he said, I found this thing. And I go, he said, I saw this fence
It's
post.
easy to get lost.
Yeah, it's real
out
big
there.
out there.
In the
yeah.
backwoods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of trails.
Okay.
But
It's old roads, and some of them are pretty good. It used to be a town there.
It was a town. It was a
Supposedly going to be
city.
underwater. They didn't go underwater.
Oh wow.
But you
Yeah.
can walk to get back there. That's where my great-great-grandparents were born and
I'm
all
gonna give you.
lived out there.
Hey, all right.
Oh wow.
It's February, Black History Month. I'm gonna give you a good trivia question. All right. Where was the first black lawmaker from in Tennessee?
I'm gonna say Murfreesboro. Probably say Jefferson City.
Bam, that's it. Old Jefferson.
Jefferson.
Oh, Jefferson.
Samson Keeble, that's where he's from.
They have his
Stony
they have
Lonesome.
his bust at the state capitol.
We we found an artifact out there that I bet. Well, I won't say where.
Is that what
'cause we
you're
don't know
doing?
what- we don't know
Checking
what
it
to
out?
do with it. We got to get approval before we move it, so we don't get no trouble.
Yeah, the federal government approves everything that we try to do, don't
It's
they?
going to take. But anyways, we really found an artifact that has something to do with that family. And it's probably the only artifact. Is there anything else from the Stony Lonesome?
No, when we had that chili cook-off, all those people, all those speakers this time, you know, they actually somebody had a couple bricks from the original
Really?
house, the old house,
Yeah,
plantation house.
they displaced everybody, made them all move, and took all the property.
And nothing happened.
Yep,
Tore the houses down and flooded it.
took the whole town.
Going to
and
flood it, didn't flood.
Didn't
It
even need the town.
miscalculated.
I can't believe no one's made a movie about it or talked
Yeah.
about it. You know,
Wow.
But
It's
anyway,
interesting. That's
anyway,
sad.
Mike, that's about all I got to say
Yeah.
on this. And like I said,
y'all got any upcoming events at Sam Davis home?
I have to look. It up. Maybe talk about it next week. See what we got. But we are open from Monday through Saturday, 10 to 4, Monday through Saturday, and for tours. And I do it Wednesdays and Thursdays if you want me to do it.
Yeah. Well, we need to circle back to Mark and Men of Hope, do another prayer breakfast.
Oh
up
yeah,
there.
oh yeah.
We had a good event out
About
there.
180 people is what we had to show up.
It was successful. Well, let's segue over to the Alphas. I've been wanting to get y'all up here we've been talking about this for months, haven't we? You know. Now, Eric, you and I met we think it was Motlow years ago.
Yeah, could have been Motlow years ago. I know
Yeah.
I've done community work for a long time around here, Patterson Park, and with Pastor McCarroll and First Baptist
Yep.
Church, and but then I started working at Motlow 2019, 2020,
Okay.
And probably around when they built the new building out there, you came
Okay.
around and
Yep.
because the Spivey,
Bob
Spivey,
Spivey, yeah.
Bob Spivey, that's your friend or your mentor.
I consider my mentor.
Yeah, now I won't get you started talking.
No,
on
I
him,
know.
and don't start crying on this. Yeah.
Oh, I'll tell you, man.
Yeah,
that
but
dude,
that's where I heard your story about him.
He
the first
was a
time.
lot. Was you there when I told you about his hearse passing me? And I got the check.
See, no.
Okay,
No,
we won't get into that. It's a little
yeah,
lengthy
yeah,
story.
yeah.
No, man, that guy, he was a lot like Donald Trump.
Okay.
but without the Twitter. I mean,
Okay.
Bob was just hard charging businessman.
Mm-hmm.
He was good to me. He always told me I'm gonna bring a college to Smyrna, and he developed. If you ever go through, he owned Starbucks in Smyrna.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
he developed that. He developed Target, sold Cracker Barrel,
Okay.
IHOP, all the hotel sites, Rush Trucking.
So he brought all
Did
that.
all
He
that.
did all that. Yeah.
You used to
and
have that
see
big
now-
event center too, or that
Yeah,
trust
it's,
place
still,
was.
it's still
yeah.
there, and then they're doing a big development right in front of Motlow now. Mm-hmm. So,
Gonna be
of course,
nice.
Yeah, of course, you know.
You know,
yeah.
it's gonna be real nice over there.
So that's where we got acquainted again and been doing some work together or seen each other
Yeah.
for a couple of times.
Well, now how do y'all know each other?
Alpha.
Alphas.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
So y'all grew up here.
No.
J.R. grew up in Murfreesboro. What
I
he was
did.
just telling me.
You did.
Yeah, I grew up here.
Where'd you go to school?
Well, went to high school at Riverdale.
Yep. Yep.
Went to high school at Riverdale, elementary, Hopgood and Reeves Rogers.
What year? High school and
Graduated in 97.
97.
97.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
what was it, 30 plus years ago?
Yeah, your
one of
age of my son.
Right.
One of my best buddies growing up, Quinn Beard. You ever remember any of the Beards?
The name doesn't
John
sound
Beard,
familiar.
Michael Beard, Quinn. Yeah, he was good. He was my first.
You go to
black,
Riverdale?
He was my first black friend in the first grade.
Really?
Yep. I can always remember that because he'd smuggle in the candies, the little called now and laters, and he'd hide them in
Mike,
the desk.
it's not now or later.
Is it
Nihilators.
Nihilators? Okay,
Nihilators, what it is.
and we thought we was getting away with something in the first grade, and I don't think she ever caught us. But he was
probably
our
knew.
quarterback, and
Yeah,
she knew.
yeah.
And I think it was maybe Miss Wade and Miss Cox or something, Smyrna Primary School. Well, Eric, you helped me when we done that expungement clinic.
Yep.
Because we want to do another
Was it
one.
in 22?
Yep.
And
22.
you've got y'all already working on the date, August.
Right. So it'll take place August 16th.
August 16th.
25 to be at Patterson Park Community Center, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m.
11 to 3.
Correct.
And you helped me with that one we done at Parkway Baptist.
Right. Yep.
And I like to think it was successful, but you never know. You know.
I think we captured some numbers. We did have some names, but of course, with an expungement clinic, you're not capturing all names. You want to have some things to be confidential.
Yeah.
People have some safety to come in to have their records looked at and things like that. But we did have some people. A lot of people came in and did go and talk to the lawyers because we had some lawyers, I think, from either Belmont or Vanderbilt, and then because Marvin
That's
helped us
right.
put us together.
Marvin, my former assistant.
Yeah,
you know where he's
yeah.
at now, don't you?
He's at
Where's
University of Memphis Law School?
He's at Nashville Law School. He's out of Memphis.
Oh, okay.
He's now with Office of the Courts.
Okay.
Oh, he's gonna be big time.
Okay. Yeah.
He
In Davidson County.
yeah.
Yeah,
He's not but 27.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he knocked on probably 4,000 doors for me and him, and
Marvin.
man, everybody loved him.
Yeah. Yeah.
They liked him better than me.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how it's supposed to be sometimes.
I'm serious.
how it's supposed
Everybody loved him. The only time he had trouble, he got pulled over by the cops.
I think I remember you telling me that.
He had Memphis. He had Shelby County plates.
Well, Mike, sometimes that happens to us.
His Shelby County plates
Every once in a
probably
while.
cause.
Once in a while.
Yeah.
You know, it was all good. He said the officer was real nice. And,
So he helped us put it together, and there was another young man named Brandon Evans that was with us. We had some
Also a brother?
connections. Yeah, and so
Yeah,
it's the expungement clinic, but then also the job fair that we're trying to.
yeah, we had
get it.
the judicial bus out there, Justice bus, I believe.
Justice bus, and I think it was a bus about job.
The black one of the 3 Department of Labor buses.
I think so. Yeah,
Labor
you know,
Force
yeah.
Development.
So we have the date, and we're tying up all of those
Loose
ends of different of official partners that are going to be out there for that day.
Well, you know, my mother, she passed 2 years ago. She always had a quote that I love. My mom was a strong Christian woman. She'd always say, "You have not because you ask not."
Mm-hmm.
And I talked to David Settles earlier. He's coming up to testify on a bill that I've got Tuesday, and I think ironically he mentioned Starbucks.
Yeah.
You know, I think he said that he, you know, I guess knows some people at Starbucks. Maybe they could kind of help. And you know what I've learned: if you ask, usually people to step up and do something. I just hung up from my friend Sherry Jackson with a group called Hugs. Y'all ever heard of Sherry? She's yeah, y'all are both believers, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, I
yeah.
assumed you were, you know.
Yeah.
But I happened to meet her, and there's more to this story that I'm not going to share on the air. It's a little lengthy, but she literally, she was in prison for 7 years, and she started telling me the story when I first met her. She had a dream when she was in prison. I've shared this on the show here, but it's probably been a couple of
you told
years.
me this. Yeah.
And she said she went before the judge. I think it was probably in Davidson County. And she had a dream she was going to get out of prison on her birthday. So she ended up going back to court or something, and it was her birthday. And she told the judge, she said, "Well, Judge, today's my birthday, and I had this dream." And she said, the judge says, "I don't know about that. All I know is, you know, you've got some outstanding warrants." I believe it was Williamson County. And she said, "But Judge, I had this dream. God said I'm going to get out of prison on my birthday." So they went to look up the records, and they couldn't find them. She got out of prison on her birthday. She's feisty now.
Did she do a lap? I almost did a lap.
Right.
That's a victory lap.
Right. Victory lap. Oh, I guarantee you
that's
she
a
did.
praise them lap.
She is so passionate. We did a job fair years ago when I first got elected, and she had, I mean, it was Channel 5, Fox 17, all the radio stations there. Station you probably never heard of, 92Q. It's a Nashville
Yeah, the radio station.
radio station, you know.
Sissy Brown. And,
Okay.
Yeah,
Anyways,
yeah.
but it was a good crash. She had
Kenny
about
Smooth.
363 people come through because she counted them all. And all I didn't know how to help her. I wanted to help her. She came to me, and I was able to help her a little bit. You know, she was, you know, want me to sponsor some T-shirts and stuff. And I just gave her a stack of cards, like 25 stacks of cards. Well, God can multiply those things. I'm going to tell you one thing about her. She's passionate because she's been there. And she grew up in I think over off Jefferson Street. And I remember she called me one day crying. And she may be listening right now. She couldn't call in because she's got a client with her that she's got to get her hours, be like a therapist, you know, helping people. She got her graduate degree, and she called me up one day, man. She was choked up, and she said, "You know, I don't know why she called me. I don't know what happened, but she said it's just so hard to get." She called it "get out of the hood." She said it was just so hard to get out, and it ain't that easy to get out. And she said, "You know, it's easy to get trapped up in the system. You know, to get trapped up like that." But one thing about her, man, she is passionate. She said she'd help us, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Excellent.
You know.
Yeah.
Excellent. So that does bring me to my next question. So I know we have been talking about the expungement clinic for a couple of months. And so I know that we had talked about some of the other state legislatures kind of helping in. Who all are you anticipating to come to help us as well?
You know, man, I wish I could tell you that I got an entourage of 20 solid guys. If I did, I'd be lying to you. Now, I know there's some guys that care. I was going to get one to call in, but I ended up getting, calling, hollering at Sherry. But Jeremy Faison's pretty good out of Cott County, but he's so far away, you know. He's the first one to speak up for Centoya Brown. You ever remember Centoya Brown's situation?
Yep.
And I was really surprised when he was talking about her, like it was like 10 years ago. I can honestly say he was the first lawmaker to start advocating for her, you know. And the governor, I guess, gave her clemency, pardon. I mean, I don't know. I should know the difference, but the governor intervened and ended up.
I think she ended up with clemency because she was in prison.
Okay, so maybe under Haslam. I don't know if it was under Haslam or under Bill Lee.
Can't remember.
You know, but one thing I've learned, man, about life, you got to have an advocate.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Got to have somebody that believes in you.
Yep.
A liaison. I hate to say lobbyist, but you know, but see, if you work it right, you can make this happen yourself, because you just gotta, you know, like the Bible says, 3 cords woven together stronger than one.
Mm-hmm.
You get 3 guys that's on fire, like you two and David Settles and some others, and get about 10 brothers together, man, you could really impact this. And my logic is, if you just help one person turn their life around,
Yep.
it's worth
You've
it.
done your service.
That's the goal.
Yep.
You know.
That's the goal.
I think we'll have more than that.
Oh yeah. Well, let's help. Let's hope.
I think
you know.
we'll have more than that, but I think the biggest thing is with what we're trying to do with this expungement clinic is, of course, give back to the community that we serve, but then also provide this service to those who may not necessarily know that they can get their record expunged.
Yeah.
Right. During this last election cycle, we were doing voter registration drives and candidate forms and different things like that. I had several people come to me and say, "Hey, I don't know if I can vote."
Yeah.
Right. And so, of course, gave them that information. We talked to them. They said, "Oh, I didn't realize I could do that." And so I
Yeah.
was like, we need to do something that we're going to provide to the community that's not only going to give back, but it's going to help people be better off in their
Yeah.
life and be able to move further along than what they are right
Yeah.
now. Because you have people walking around that have charges on their records that
Yeah.
they didn't realize they can get, that they could no longer be there, and it could then help them with jobs and
Yeah.
and housing and other different things that they may be locked out of.
Yes. Yes. Give me a recap real quick about the Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity that folks may not be familiar, because as far as I know, that was the first African American fraternity in the world, right?
Yeah.
That is correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
first African American intercollegiate fraternity started in 1906, Cornell University, and so we have chapters all over the world. Of course, our chapter here in Murfreesboro is Omicron Sigma Lambda, DO, as we call ourselves. But there's chapters in Nashville. We have a South Nashville chapter in Memphis and Chattanooga, and
Clarksville,
so
Knoxville.
yeah.
It's
Now,
statewide.
do y'all? How do you go about recruiting?
We don't recruit.
We don't recruit.
You don't.
Yeah.
No, sir.
Okay, really?
Yeah. So what you saying, Mike? You,
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Myself
okay.
no trouble.
Yeah, no. So, I mean, as a fraternity, we don't necessarily recruit. If someone wants to be a part of the fraternity, they'll talk to a member, and
Yeah.
then there's a process.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was interesting. The 7 founders, they were called the Jewels.
Okay.
correct.
Come on.
So
now.
what's up with the Jewels? What's going on with the
Well,
name Jewels?
So it's just founders of a Jewels who started the fraternity, and we give homage to those men you think in 1906 at Cornell University. So think about this. Think about 1906 at Cornell University.
Yeah.
There were even 7 black men that were
university.
even at the university, let alone
Yes.
seven black men that was at the university that was thriving. We had architects, doctors, school teachers that started the fraternity, and so just all of the struggle that they had to go through, not just to start it, but to keep it going. And so that's why we call them Jewels. They're pretty special.
That is
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Have y'all ever got to visit Cornell University?
I did.
You have?
I haven't yet.
I have. I pulled it up. I was doing some research the other day. Man, it's a beautiful campus.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Is it one of the? Is it one of the top 10 or top 20?
I'm not sure. I know
It's up
it's an Ivy League school.
Yes, I believe
That's
so.
cool.
It's an Ivy League school, yeah. So, and
Yeah.
when we went, we saw some of the artifacts of Alpha. Yeah, Jr., you got to go.
Yeah,
So I
I'm
think we're
ready.
gonna try to go in 26. I think we're gonna try to go.
I'll be ready.
Really? We also there's 730 active chapters across the United States, and was it about 290,000 members? Is that what?
If
I don't
that's
have
what-
it in here. That's
if
what
that's
I
what the
thought.
papers say.
Yeah,
I
it's
thought-
probably a bit
no,
more than that.
it does say 290
Yeah.
initiated members.
That's what it say. Yeah.
It might be a
The-
little bit more than that, but it's close. It's definitely
And
definitely.
if you
290.
leverage all those guys and you got them all on the same page, or just heck 1%.
Well, and the good thing about it is that as men, everybody has, different opinions and different outlooks. There's different initiatives that we do. So so it's good as far as we can. And of course, you got all them people on one page going in one direction. Yeah. But a lot of times, everybody have different opinions.
Yeah.
And then we have different. And there's so many different things out there because, what we have 4 programs. We have 4 national programs.
Yep.
J.I., help me out. We have the Boldest People is the Hopeless People.
That is correct.
We have Project Alpha, and Project Alpha deals with sexual awareness, sexual responsibility. Of course, Boldest People is the Hopeless People. We, educating people about voting.
Voter registration.
And voter registration.
Candidate forms.
Yeah.
Providing that information to the community that they may or may not have or possibly could have had, but didn't have all the specifics on it.
And then and then we do go to high school, go to college. So there's a big initiative on education, and then My Brother's Keeper is one of our national programs. So we work in those.
Well, like this, it said the mission crystallized around quote, manly deeds, scholarship, and love for all mankind. And I guess the most famous alpha was Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Yeah,
he was one of them.
And then Thurgood Marshall.
You can keep going.
Yeah,
and
keep going.
They keep going.
Who was wasn't the guy that was the Atlanta mayor years ago, congressman?
His name just not Maynard.
Not Andrew.
Andrew Jackson.
Andrew Young.
Andrew Young.
Andrew Young.
That's Andrew
So
Jackson.
he was Alpha
Andrew
too?
Young.
He is an alpha.
Okay.
He's still alive.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, is he really?
Yeah.
I know. He seemed like from what I knew about him, seemed like a solid guy. Well, one thing about you were asking me about other members. I mean, if you personally call people, it's like this DAR event. Andrea Calfee came up to the Capitol about 2 weeks ago, and come by, also advocating for veterans. She's with the Veterans Caucus, and she came up. But if you personally come by, or you call people, they'll get involved. Now, Sherry, when I called her, I was kidding her that I had the Q dogs up, and then she was, and so she was bragging on the Q. She sent me a long text, and I was kidding her. I was like, "No, I've got alphas up," and she said, "Well, I don't know that many alphas," and but I think Harold Love Jr.
He's an Omega.
And then Yusuf Hakeem. Yusuf Hakeem.
I'm not sure if
He's out of Chattanooga.
Okay.
Yeah, because you know that story of how I know Yusuf so good. I got him, dude. This is a true story. He needed an assistant. Well, Brandon Woodruff, Brandon was a protester. Well, Brandon and I became friends.
Okay, yeah.
And he come up to me at one of the protests at MTSU. I can't make this stuff up. Well, I was talking about history. I was talking about the first black lawmaker, Amazing Grace, written by John Newton, who influenced Great Britain, influenced the lawmaker William Wilberforce to free the slaves. I was talking about all this history and why history matters, and he came up. He was the main HELL raiser of everybody. Okay?
Brandon.
Yeah. And
that's one of our brothers.
He come up to me with two other alphas, and he was really he was really polite to me and cool about it. And he goes, "Representative, is that why there's a William Wilberforce University, I think in Illinois or Ohio?" And he goes, it was created by abolitionists. I said, "Man, this is why history matters. This is why you need to know your history, study history." He said, "Can I be intern?" And it was just so, I wasn't expecting that question. And I was like, and this is the height of a lot of protests. And I was like,
wasn't this around the name of the
Nathan Bedford Forrest, all that. So he was a protester about that. Yeah. Well, I was there just making my point that people need to know history, good, the bad, the ugly. We all need to know our history. And I said, well, let me check on this. And I checked with HR, and they let him come up and intern, and everybody loved him. I mean, so everybody gets him mixed up with Marvin. Marvin, my assistant, Brandon came up, and I told him, I said, look, if you gonna be a HELL raiser, I don't think I can say the word on the radio. And I said, you can't be, you're gonna be on camera. You can't be breaking no windows, lighting no cars on fire. Don't do that crazy, because you're gonna be looking for a job.
Brandon
he goes, I'm not gonna do it, Representative. He'd say, Rep, and I said, because one day, young man, you're gonna be looking for a job. I said, if you're gonna raise HELL, find a good cause to raise HELL about. I think this is a good reason. This expungement stuff. I promise you, there's nobody lobbying. There's nobody advocating for freedom out there. Now there'll be people. Yeah, we are. Yeah, we're. No, I don't. Now, if you go ask them, people will get involved, but there needs to be a hub. There needs to be, a central guiding post to be reaching out to people,
And
whether it's James McCarroll Church, maybe it's y'all, maybe it's one guy or a couple of guys that know who to go to, because there's opportunity out there to get your voting rights back. I had a guy that got in trouble when he was 17, 18, Justin Bashir. Justin, he's not going to mind me sharing his name. I had to meet with the governor, meet with probation parole, and they all voted for him to get his felony overturned when he got in trouble when he was 18. But let me tell you, this is where this system is broken. Okay, now, I mentioned this in Committee on Finance a week and a half ago with AOC, Office of the Courts. Michelle Long, and I like Michelle, the director, and I said, how's the uniform, it's called the uniform system. It's pulling all the records together from different counties. Unified court system. I said, how's it coming along? And she says, well, it's taking some work, and they're trying to get this. They're not communicating. And I said, so in other words, it's broken. And everybody just stopped and looked. I said, if something ain't working right, it's broken. Am I right?
Yeah.
I mean, if this watch ain't working right,
malfunction or something.
It's broken.
It's not working the way it's supposed to.
Yeah,
It needs a battery.
Okay.
It needs to be reset.
Yeah, and so everybody stopped, and I really like the lady. She's super classy. Plus, it's Marvin's boss's boss's boss. Okay, so I don't want to tick her off, but she knows it's an issue. And I said, this is the thing why this is important. This is a freedom issue. Freedom and liberty, which is the cornerstone of our Constitution. I said, we got a book of lobbyists up here. It's like 80, 90 pages of lobbyists. Name an industry, there's somebody for it. The cereal industry, lobbyist. Road industry, lobbyist. Book publisher, lobbyist. Sneaker manufacturer, large lobbyist, I promise you. And I said, who's lobbying for freedom? Out of those 90 pages, name it. Nobody can name it. This is where this system is broken. And if people don't care about this, and some people, they don't care. You know what? People don't realize what it cost to incarcerate just a juvenile. I pulled that up earlier.
It's a lot. It's expensive.
Man, it is off the tracks of how sad this is. In California now, to incarcerate a juvenile, let me pull this up. It is, I can find out, I think it was $200,000 to incarcerate a juvenile. Now, some juveniles need to be incarcerated. Some people need to be incarcerated. But we spend a lot of money. And this is the thing that I like about Trump and this Doge, Elon Musk, whether you like him or not. I think this system is set up to keep people here. That's my theory. Now, am I going to piss a lot of people off saying that publicly on WGNS? Probably so.
Yeah, I would go a step further. I don't know how much we're going to piss some people off, but I'm going to go ahead and say it.
I mean, really?
A part of that system is they're planning for people to go there.
Well, I pulled up
And
earlier.
Yeah, and state.
Yeah.
So the push really should be when you talk about, and I don't want to get too far off track about the expungement, but when you talk about things like freedom and liberties, different things like that, right? The push should be for ultimately for rehabilitation, right?
Definitely.
So if you see that someone has a problem, whether it be mental health or whether it be alcohol and drug abuse, something like that, hone in on what that issue is and what that problem is, and come up with solutions to solve it. Incarceration may not always be the best thing,
Yeah.
because there are other avenues. And of course, when you talk about, your really heinous crimes when you murder somebody and cut their head off and got them in the refrigerator. That's a little different, right? But if it's a drug abuse, a mental health issue, let's figure out ways to come up and solve, intervene and solve those problems without saying let's just put them in jail. Now, sometimes putting them in the jail
It's needed.
is needed. It may help, but ultimately the goal should always be rehabilitation.
And even if they are incarcerated, it could be. And I know some of our some MTSU, some things inside of the jails. Motlow, we don't have teachers going inside of the jails, but we are working with reentry programs, and training folks, so when they come out, that they can be self-sufficient, that they can be trained, get a skill, and be self-sufficient.
Yeah.
Well, I know
which is the goal.
and I know in Nashville that Belmont, Belmont, and I know Lipscomb, and I want to say Vanderbilt. I know they go into the prisons and offer various programs to where the inmates can get a college degree, and then when they come out, they have a college education. Right now, is a college education, is that always a good way to go as well? Absolutely. But then there's also other trades that can be learned, right? And different things like that. You can go in and HVAC, electrical and wiring and plumbing, those type of things that can really benefit and help people, and they make bukus of money, from my understanding.
And the good thing is that the council and the reentry group is still working on some things, because some of those, which we had a meeting last week, some of those things that they can get licensed for, or they can take the classes for, but they may not get licensed for because of their background.
Because of the background,
right?
And that's where the expungement
clinic
comes in. That's where the expungement comes in,
and or at least we can understand of what certain people can train for and get licensed for, and help them out, which is talking about freedom. That's freedom, because when you're able to make your way, make money to sustain your lifestyle and what you want to do, then now we're talking to freedom, guys.
Gives you a sense of purpose.
Yes.
A sense of purpose, a sense of belonging, a sense of being productive, right? And I think that's a lot of what people are looking for, and I think that's a lot of what people who have records that don't know about how to get those expunged. That's where we come in, and we provide that service and help them with that. I'm like, this is what you can do. This is how you can move forward. Now you get your record clean.
Well, I know
then you go and do this.
I talked to the Public Defenders Conference. They're willing to help. The DA's conference is willing to help. Most people, if you ask them, they will step up. If you.
I have a list of names of folks
stay
you've been
on,
reached out to.
Oh, you're
I'm already on it.
Oh, I know you are.
So if people out there and they want to help out, where should they send their information to?
I'd either one of y'all to be the hub right now.
They can send it to my email. It is jrmarable, MARABLE @comcast.net. Yeah. So if you want to help us with our expungement clinic that we're having in August, feel free to reach out.
At Patterson Park.
My telephone number is area code 615-631-3890.
We need to get y'all on with Angela Bingham on her show.
We were just talking about
Miss Bingham.
She's a sweetheart.
Yeah, and then when we do that, hopefully we'll have some more information, some more things to be solidified, because we're looking to kind of have this like a little fair, a little fest. Maybe have some food trucks out there, maybe one or two. Yeah. Of course, job opportunities.
Correct.
So
we'll get the Department of Labor's bus out there, the Justice bus. We can do that. Give them
Tennessee
enough
Justice
notice.
Maybe Motlow might have a table out there. Maybe we get TCAT to come out there.
Yeah, definitely TCAT.
Yeah, Brother Murphy out there. Murphy.
Dr. Torrance Motlow, and then Patrick Wade,
TCAT.
Somebody just texted me asking me about TCAT just now. I'm gonna tell you, man, a job opportunity.
Let me tell you something. TCAT. I had the opportunity to be able to go and tour the one here in Murfreesboro and the one in Davidson County last year, and the one here in Murfreesboro. Patrick and I both were like, when we were in high school, we never even thought about going to TCAT, but the amount of technology they have there, the amount of opportunities they have there, it's out of this world. It's out of this world.
Have you seen the one they're building in Shelbyville?
Yes.
Man,
Where?
In Shelbyville.
Gonna be in Shelbyville, right?
Oh,
off
Shelbyville.
right before
I
you
said-
get to Nearest.
I said it
I'm
right,
from
didn't I?
Chicago. I'm from Chicago, so I'm sorry.
Shelbyville.
No, you said it right.
Shelbyville.
Yeah,
Right.
I think no, you're right.
Man,
I'm
it
messing
is
with you.
so
It's right
nice.
now
I was-
by Uncle Nearest.
It is.
Yeah.
I was asking Pat Marr, she's the representative for that area, and I was looking over for the MTSU expansion for the airport. We've allocated a lot of funds for that, and I didn't really see anything happen. I look over and I was like, man, look at that. And Pat said, yeah, that's a new TCAT. I'm like, my gosh. I said, who did they know messing with Pat?
Slate to open next year.
I'm gonna tell you, old Pat's a good dude. He if I shouldn't say it on live radio, but I am. Hey, if you hit him up, he'll help you. He'll help you, seriously.
Send me his name.
Hey, Pat Morris, I'm telling you, he's got a good heart. He owns Big G Trucking,
Okay.
and
Okay.
most people would step up to help you. I had a guy. I went to court with a guy after the expungement clinic. He was leaving our church, and I was talking to a few people, and I seen him just leave, and I ran out there and caught up with him. I said, hey, how's it going? He goes, well, they said they couldn't help me. So I said, go back in there and talk to Chelsea Curtis. And Chelsea, she texted me earlier. She helped us with that one. And I think he had too many. He got
too many
too many
something.
felonies back when he was younger. Man, guy's turned his life around. Owns a farm. Owns a HVAC company.
Oh wow.
And went to court with him, tried to help him. The judge, I won't say the judge's name. I think a lot of this judge, if he's listening, he's been on the air with me, and I know the judge wanted to help, but certain situations
Just
you
couldn't
can't
do
do
it.
anything.
Yeah.
And man, that dude, he got choked up. Him and I were talking, and man, I got to hearing his story. I think his dad committed suicide when he was like 15. His mom was on heroin. His grandmother took him in. I think they moved to like 4 different states. And, and then I look at my own life and think, man, how blessed I was to have a father who was military, who always said, if you ever get arrested, don't call me.
don't call
I
me.
ain't coming after you.
Yeah.
So I never got caught.
Right.
You know what I mean? Anyways, no, we didn't get caught. But we all need an advocate.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who's been y'all's advocate in your life?
I would say, just honestly speaking, I mean, growing up, it was always, my grandfather.
Your
Right.
grandfather? Yeah.
But he laid.
Was he military?
He was not.
It wasn't.
But he
Okay.
treated us like we were military.
Okay.
Right? So he laid that foundation for us. Like, this is how you conduct yourself as a man. This is what you do.
Yeah.
And that's my cousin and I specifically. That's what we have always lived by. Right. And so I would say, while I fortunately never got in trouble for anything.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would never had the jobs that I had.
Yeah.
But I would say definitely, him and just family in general. I say,
Yeah.
having that family support.
So your dad was there growing up
Dad
for
was
you?
there. Just
Yeah.
having that family support is
Yeah.
essential. And even looking at some of the offenders and inmates that I've worked with over the years, a lot of times that missing component is that family
It
piece.
is.
It's that missing.
Eric, what about you?
Most definitely my dad.
Yeah.
But
Is he
my-
still around?
Oh yeah, my dad 85. I got some. I got some northern white beans and some chicken thighs.
Really?
And some rice and cornbread for him right now. As soon
Do
as
you
I
really?
leave here, yeah.
Where does he live?
He lives in the Blackman area right
Is
here.
he-
in
is he listening
Murfreesboro.
right now?
Probably not. Probably not.
Call him
but
up. Tell him listen in this radio show.
I will. But my dad and my brother and I was talking about this just last night. Just all the men that was in our church, from the pastor
Yeah.
to the deacons, and
And where you go? You go to the same church?
so I grew up in the church in Chicago, Oakdale Covenant Church.
Okay.
So that church with all of those deacons, but then First Baptist here with Pastor Carroll, we have a lot of.
Oh, you go to First Baptist?
Yeah, I go to, I
oh,
go to
okay.
First Baptist, and yeah, and first. And,
Oh, y'all didn't make it to Casey Clark's funeral, did you?
don't-
Y'all know Casey?
I did.
He used to call in.
I did.
Oh, he gave everybody HELL. I mean, me and him just became friends. But first day I was on the radio, I said a prayer. I said, because he would wear everybody out, the sheriff. And I mean, if you were the dog catcher, he'd call in and complain. And I was kind of nervous, and I just said, I just claimed in Jesus' name, Lord, you're going to take care of Casey for me. I didn't wish nothing bad on him. I just said, Lord, I don't want no problems with the guy. And we became friends that day. He come in and played music for me. We done 2 Roosevelt school reunions in Smyrna.
Yeah.
He come in and played music.
And
His
that's
bass guitarist come up to me. Man, I forgot the guy's name. He works at Smyrna Ready Mix. He see me the voting day, and he was hollering my name, and it was about the time the polls shutting down, and Thea Appleton, Casey's sister, was sitting over there because her and I was kind of campaigning, kind of hanging out. And I said, hey, there's Casey's sister. And he told me the story of Casey. Casey didn't think he was being serious. He wanted to learn to play guitar. Well, he knew nothing about guitar. And he said, man, I traded my shotgun in at a pawn shop for a guitar. He said, Casey didn't think I was all in. He said, I told him, he said, look, I'm serious. I want to play. Man, he taught me how to play. And he said he led him to the Lord in a club.
Well, sometimes you meet the Lord in the
You know
club.
what I'm saying?
You do.
You know what I mean? I just thought that was so cool.
Yeah.
But you ever heard that song Mississippi Poor Boy by the Cantons?
Mm-mm.
You don't know? Hey, I'll tell you what we're gonna do. Let's take a quick break and we're gonna play that song when we come back. Can we do that, Connor?
We can.
All right, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back.
All right, cool.
Josh Moss with Affordable Heating and Cooling provides residential HVAC and duct cleaning services to the Middle Tennessee area. With more than 20 years of experience, Josh Moss and the AHC team provide 24/7 service and take care to ensure whatever work you need done is done in a professional, timely manner. Contact AHC at 615-745-1676. That's 615-745-1676, or go to their website at affordableheatingandcoolingtn.com.
Most people know that their insurance can provide them with coverage for the many life's mishaps. But I can help you also unlock discounts, save money, and get benefits with Farmers Insurance policy perks. Whether we're discussing home or auto insurance, I am here to help you understand these great perks. Call me, Mark Lewis, at 615-625-7070 for a quote, and you can get a whole lot of something with Farmers policy perks.
Not available in every state. Only available with select Farmers branded policies underwritten by Farmers Truck or Fire Insurance Exchanges or affiliate.
Mike and Felicia Sparks, owner of the Vanity Zone Salon, want to invite you to stop in for your next haircut or color. Their stylists Michelle, Tori, Tracy, Brandy, Sarah, and Gail offer the best creative cuts and color for all ages, for men and women. The Vanity Zone is located at 732 Nissan Drive in Smyrna, to the right of the Crystals Restaurant. To look and feel your best, visit the Vanity Zone Salon today. Call 615-355-1721 to book your next appointment.
All right, we're going to play this song real quick that Eric and JR don't know about. We're going to surprise y'all. They played this at Casey's funeral at James McCarroll over at First Baptist Church. Go ahead, Connor.
Let me tell you why you're blessed, young folk. You see, wait a minute, y'all. I didn't have no money. A lot of my friends, hey. Oh, thought that was funny. Yes. But I know we're recording tonight. Y'all excuse me for a minute. I'm so glad today. How many of you glad that I can stand right here and say, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. There's a love He been good, sure been good to me, y'all. Lord, I'm just sitting here looking over my life, Lord. Let me take inventory. Can I take it? Can I take it? 'Cause I know you. I know you. I know you've been good to me, Lord. I come from a poor family. We didn't have much, but the Lord been good to me. I come from a poor family. We didn't have much, but the Lord been good to me. Come from a poor family. We didn't have much, but the Lord been good to me. Let me tell y'all something. I didn't have no money. How many of y'all were like that? A lot of my friends thought that was funny. But I'm so glad today that I can stand right here and say that the Lord been good to me. Let me tell you one more thing. Listen.
I ain't never heard that song.
Never heard it.
I never heard that song, but I've heard the blues a lot, and that's
Well, they played that.
as classic church blues. That's classic. All you
Man,
gotta
they
do is take
played
it
that
up one more notch, and that's rock
At y'all's
blues.
church right there.
Oh wow!
And Bart Walker, the owner of the station, it was just there was another white guy there, about 300 people there, and I told Bart, I said, Bart, you ever been to a black funeral? He goes, yeah, I have. And I said, man, we're fixing to get down this place. This is fixing to be a concert, a celebration of life, a funeral. And that was Casey's favorite song. And Casey was a guitarist.
Okay.
And he once got to play with Jimi Hendrix. And man, I thought the windows may break in that church. It was so
I can imagine.
loud. I mean, it was awesome.
Yeah.
And I got to speak and share my story about Casey, and he'd been on the air with me a couple times. And but that song's got some powerful words. I mean,
most
growing
definitely.
up so poor,
Most definitely.
and like many of our forefathers did. And but jumping back on the expungement clinic and trying to help folks, one thing I've learned: you got to have an advocate in your life, who was your grandfather and your dad, and you're fixing to bring him some
Northern beans and some chicken.
So you made it?
My wife did.
Oh, did she?
I might stop and get me a plate myself.
Yeah. You got to take care of him. Yeah. And now I'm his advocate, and my brothers and sisters.
Good.
So yeah. And that's what we need to do now. And as we try to organize this, to bring the people together, so people can get new things off their record, so they can also get jobs and then have a life, and then maybe even some resources. 'Cause I'm thinking maybe even like some mental health agencies that can show up, and just try to make it so all inclusive. Yeah. For that particular person. To find to get the information off their record, but then also find a job and be sustainable.
And I think having it at Patterson Park, because everybody identifies, everybody in Murfreesboro identifies with Patterson Park, and I think having it at Patterson Park is going to be life changing.
Yeah.
Right. Because you're gonna have that flow of people that's gonna come over there and want to be a part of that. And I think that's gonna be.
And it's just gonna be some people that's gonna show up. You know what we do at Patterson? Somebody gonna come work out, go play basketball. I mean, there's all other things that happens at Patterson that you got that flow of traffic coming.
Yeah. I was talking to somebody here a while back, and they're in law enforcement. Folks that know me close know who I'm talking about. And he was a top agent at Quantico, FBI Academy, the number one agent. And we were looking back at life, and I was like, hey, remember that time you done this? You remember that time you done that? Remember that time you done this? And And he's like, yeah. I said, man, just think if you'd got caught. And it's just little trivial, stupid, like just kids acting up. And I said, man, you'd have never got called up. He goes, man, I think about it all the time. And so a lot of folks just, in my opinion, got, they made a mistake.
Oh, yeah.
And like I did, I mean, seriously, we were kind of bad kids in a way. We were respectful to elders, but we were drag racing, acting up, and but I had somebody. My advocate was Sally Walls, our police chief. She believed in me, but she's an advocate for many folks. And but you know who Matthew Charles is? He was the one that Trump gave the second chance. Remember Kim Kardashian was advocating for him? Okay. He was in my office a few years ago, and he's now a strong advocate. In fact, remind me, we'll invite him, see if he'll come out. But he had like a 20-something year sentence for selling drugs, and I'm not saying it's okay to sell drugs by no means, but that's about $35,000 in Tennessee to incarcerate somebody. Is there a better way that we can get people on a little bit more of a straight and narrow?
Well, and of course, we could be talking about an economic issue, right?
Yeah.
And so that's probably the way that he was provided. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Exactly.
And I may know some drug dealers. I may not know them.
Yeah.
But we're talking about an economic issue.
Yes.
We're talking about they're trying to feed families and put food on the table. And so what other ways can we teach ourselves to sustain ourselves, but do it legally?
Well, we're going to do this. Thank you, JR. Thank you, Eric. Hey, I'm going to say this is going to be the most successful event dealing with this in the history of Tennessee.
Let's do it.
It's going to happen, brother.
Let's do it.
Thank you, Connor. Thank you, Jeremy.
Thank you,
Roger.
Thank you for having us on.
Anytime. We'll see y'all next week.
Appreciate it.